Hello everybody, Not Voltage here, and I want to preference and say that this game might be the game that the FPS genre really needs. What this game is called Delta Force. It is a free-to-play game coming out, I believe, early next year, if I remember correctly. It comes with a multiplayer mode, which is what you're currently watching right now. King of the Hill is the game mode on a new map that they just put into rotation just today. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Trenches. But the game mode, well, currently the game modes are King of the Hill and Attack slash Defend. Right now, I don't know when they plan on adding another side game mode because they originally had a game mode called Blitz, where it was basically the same thing as King of the Hill, except it was just in a much smaller portion of a map. They only had that for a couple days, so I don't know when they plan on adding another new game mode to basically replace that. But then it also is going to include a extraction mode, which you will not be seeing in this gameplay because I do not like extraction modes or extraction games, stuff like Tarkov or like, Call of Duty DMZ, stuff like that. I'm not a fan of those games. So you will not be seeing that in this video. But not only that, but it's also going to have a what am I thinking of? It's a remaster of the original Black Hawk Down campaign from one of the original games. While like what 20 like 10 or like 20 years ago, I think. But it's a free to play game. It's gonna have a full campaign, Black Hawk Down. It will have a multiplayer, it will have an extraction also. All free to play. Obviously, with free to play, there's gotta be some speculations of how the microtransactions are, which currently, as of right now in the beta, the microtransactions are not bad right now. They're currently just cosmetics, and that's a good thing. You have a battle pass, which a battle pass is also mainly just a combination of what am I thinking of? Combination of cosmetics, tickets that you can use to buy skins for like beginner skins for certain weapons, and then boxes to help you out with the extraction game mode, and it's a lot of help. Keep in mind, but currently those are the microtransactions in the game. They're really not bad, and I mean currently they have like a current like a weapon skin set that comes with a lot of things for like 99 cents right now in the beta. But I'm as much as I don't like microtransactions, I'm currently fine with this because they're not, they're not trying to throw it in your face. But anyways, I've played both alphas. When they started releasing them, I got into the first alpha, and in my opinion, the first alpha was a um, I would say like a clusterfuck. Not so much like bugs. There weren't like necessarily a whole lot of bugs. I was having a lot of performance issues, which keep in mind, I don't have the best specs on my computer. It's a 4-year-old computer with like a 2080 Super, not the best motherboard, 32 gigs of uh RAM, forget G Skill RAM. I have a Ryzen 7 2700, so I don't have like the best computer, but still, the performance on the first beta was abysmal at best. It wasn't like full of bugs, but the time to kill was non-existent. Hit detection was basically shit. And like it was still playable, but you're gonna have a lot of bad experiences with it. then after that, I think after a month or two after the end of the first alpha, they entered into the second phase of the alpha, which I played that also, which I also played that also, where basically everything was unlocked, every weapon was unlocked. The only thing you had to do was just level up your weapons, and that was basically it. But everything was unlocked. The game felt a lot better to run. There were still some slight issues with the whole time to kill. The hit detection was fixed very fast actually, but the time to kill was still kind of shit. Some weapons felt kind of like absolutely useless. And then now here we are over into the official beta, which came out December December 5th, I believe, December 6th, one of the two. And right now, from how much I've been playing, which I've been playing a lot of it, the beta is absolutely fucking amazing. I love it a lot. It not only does it run really smooth, but so far the only bug I've encountered, which I've talked to many people on my team about, was I don't know if it's like an actual glitch or like it's like a flat out bug, but basically you will get killed from behind a wall from basically, let's say, an enemy nowhere near you. We'll say like across the map, you will randomly die from them and they're nowhere near you, and it won't be from like a grenade, it won't be from like a vehicle, it'll be from just like a assault rifle that can apparently shoot through 7 buildings in a row. That it doesn't happen often. It's a small issue. I've done that before and don't know how. It's happened to me numerous times. I've talked to a lot of people on my teams in the tens of games I've played, and a lot of people are saying that they are experiencing that too. So I don't think it's like, I doubt it's like any type of hacks. I think it's just a bug in the game. I don't know if that would be related to the TTK, like the time to kill, or if it's just a whole different issue. That I'm not so certain about, but like I said, it doesn't happen often, so I'm not necessarily too worried about it. Otherwise, for the most part, the beta has been really solid. The weapons feel really good. Like so far, every one I've used, going down to even like the pistols, the SMGs, assault rifles. I haven't really touched on these snipers yet. Like not often. I personally just don't like the snipers in the game. They kind of just feel like shit. No matter what happens, unless the enemy is already like hit by bullets, all the snipers will not one shot unless it's a headshot, which I personally don't like that, especially in this type of like Battlefield style game. I don't like how every sniper has been nerfed to the point where you have to hit a headshot to get a kill, when in reality that's not really the case. A chest shot is going to can instantly kill people, but in this game they just like nerfed the snipers way too bad, especially if you shoot someone with a sniper at a close range, it's only going to be a hit marker. So I don't like that. I don't use snipers for that exact reason. But from what I experienced, the assault rifles feel really nice. SMGs feel good. Pistols, I'm not the best with pistols. Never happened. Not even like Counter-Strike 2. And I have almost 2,000 hours on the game and I'm still shit with pistols. Pistols I've never been good at. Shotguns, I don't use shotguns at all. I primarily use marksman rifles, assault rifles, and SMGs primarily. But they all do feel nice. I don't have an issue with them. I'm currently using the M4A1 in this game. And it is a very solid weapon. You don't get that until level 16, I believe. I believe it's, yeah, level 16 you don't get the M4, but it's a really good gun. They also added brand new, compared to alphas, they brought in a lot more weapon attachments. And this game has a lot of weapons. It also has a lot of, 8 operators, I believe, that all have their own special abilities. to basically bring to the battlefield. The battlefield. So still, you're using operators with special abilities, kind of like the older Call of Duties or how Battlefield 2042 is. But yeah, but for a quick showcase, like this game has a lot of weapons in every different category. Now each weapon has its own level, and they can go up to what 72 levels. The M4 itself, I think, is like 75 levels. I think it to the max it out. But each weapon has its own set of levels, and each operator can use like assault rifles. Most operators can use the same assault rifles as the assault class, but the only difference is certain classes can use other weapons that the other ones can't. So you have support that can use the SMGs. You have engineers that are able to use like LMGs, but they also have their own set of assault rifles, like the other two don't have. And then snipers, obviously snipers can use snipers and marksman rifles, but they basically use all the other same weapons as other classes have, just not all the weapons. Now, again, I never dabbled too much in snipers in the sniper class, so I can't say how good they are. But they all basically share the same weapons. I mean, like secondaries and everything, they all have their own different abilities. You can choose between so far currently two of different type of classes. So assault rifle has two operators, support two, engineer two, and recon has two. They all have one based off different abilities. Which one of them, Aluru, is the one I want to get. I don't actually know how to get it. I don't know if I had to level up to get him, or if I had to basically do challenges to unlock him. That's the one operator I'm trying to unlock because I've used him a lot in the alphas, and he's a really solid engineer. But I currently don't actually know how to unlock him, so I'm just going to keep playing the game and just leveling up, see if I can get a hold of him. But I digress. This, as I said earlier in the video, I feel like this is the game that the FPS genre really needs because it's the FPS genre has like space has been kind of dying for the past many years. Not a whole lot of good stuff has been going out outside of if we're excluding stuff like Call of Duty and Battlefield, which are like the two major games. The FPS space has kind of just been kind of almost vacant. Not a whole lot of good stuff has been coming out. And if stuff does come out, it always comes out as turns out that they are like actual scams. Or is like no actual game or a bait and switch. It hasn't really been a whole lot of fun things coming out of it. Which sucks because I've played FPS games my entire life, especially since I was a kid, before I even got an Xbox. But yeah, again, this game comes out early next year. I don't know if it was February or March next year. I do not remember. But I would highly recommend to the people that need a new game to play, definitely download this game. It is on Steam for free, obviously, because it's a free to play game. But I would highly recommend you guys download this game. Definitely try it. Now, most computers should be able to run it. It's still because it is still like a Battlefield style game. You're definitely still gonna need like a pretty good computer because it will be graphically demanding. I'm currently not playing on the max settings, but I'm playing on almost max settings. I guess I have like a couple things that are not maxed out that I saw my settings earlier today. But I'm running again 2080 Super, so like a much older GPU. I have much older RAM. I think I'm still running DDR4 for fuck's sake. And like pretty much my whole computer is just outdated by 2 or 3 generations each. but I'm still able to hit a constant 60 FPS in this game at like high, like almost max graphics. So I think most computers should be able to handle the game well, but it's definitely worth to try it. I don't know how long the beta will is going to be available. I don't know if they're gonna keep the beta up until like a month or two before the game fully releases, but it's definitely worth the wait because coming from the alpha and going directly into the beta, there is a huge there's a huge change in how much they managed to pull it off in only a few months after the first alpha. And I definitely congratulate them for basically reaching that achievement and that milestone because going from the alpha and then like 3 months later immediately going to the how how amazing the beta is and how well it runs. They fixed most of the issues, and they're currently still actually fixing issues too. Like every day they have a hotfix, or every 2 days they'll have a hotfix to fix a lot of the bugs and stuff going on. So they've been definitely on top of their game with making sure that this game is running as well as it can be. And yeah, I've again haven't really encountered any glitches, any bugs at all. And that's a good thing. I've only ever faced that issue, like I said earlier, just randomly being killed by somebody that wasn't originally shooting at you, and it turns out that they're across the map when they kill you. Again, I know for a fact that's not hacking. That's just a weird bug in the game that just rarely happens, but it will. But yeah, this game is definitely worth playing, especially if if you're into like Battlefield, like that's your main game. I would definitely recommend that because Battlefield kind of hasn't really been doing anything good. And in my opinion, Battlefield 1 was the last good Battlefield game. I don't know how many hours I put into Battlefield 1. I just know I played that game years on end. I tried Battlefield 5, really hated that. And then 2042 is 2042. Absolutely hate that game. I don't play it at all. But for someone who played who played Battlefield more than Call of Duty, this is definitely the game that I'm in more into. I just like the whole pretty much like open world combat situation on a huge map, 32 versus 32, or I believe 64 versus 64. I believe this is a 32 versus 32, if I remember correctly. I know one of their Q&As, they mentioned that they wanted to get this game to have a 128 versus 128, which that's going to be a clusterfuck, but it's going to be a very fun clusterfuck that I want to be a part of because not many games can are able to handle a 128 versus a 128, and I'm absolutely down for it. It's going to be just so much fun to do, and that's currently what I'm waiting for. Yeah, again, if you are into the Battlefield and you kind of just don't want to keep sticking with COD, I definitely do recommend you. You don't have to. You can try it. I recommend you do try it. Again, the game won't be for everybody, but it's overall, from my experience, it's a really good game, and I'm can't wait for a full release, especially because I really want to play the single player mode because I just want to go through the whole Black Hawk Down scenario that happened way back then. That's something I'm really excited about. Which I should probably change the sub. So the campaign is going to be taking place during Black Hawk Down. That is, I don't remember what year it was. I think it was 1999. It was in 1990s. But then you go to the multiplayer and the extraction mode. They are both set in the future in 2025, I think. Yeah, I believe they're 2025, if I remember correctly. So you have three different modes, and two modes are way in the future compared to the campaign, which I actually, which I do find that's actually pretty cool to that they're doing that, having two different time, like basically two different times. So you're not gonna have like the advanced weaponry in a single player like you're gonna be having in here. I think that well, you're gonna be mainly sticking with the older guns, so like the M4, M16, the 249 Saw, and then your standard pistols like the Deagle, M1911, I believe. So that's something I do find really cool about it and really fun for me. But yeah, but when I play this game, I'm mainly playing Assault anyways. Plus, I just also prefer their weapons the most. But this game definitely needs a lot more recognition because there are a lot of YouTubers that are playing this game and definitely are also saying that the game's definitely really good. Definitely, people should definitely play. And I'm with them. At first, I was skeptical with the alpha, but now with the beta, I am not really skeptical anymore. I've just been enjoying this beta a lot. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm only hoping that it basically goes uphill from here, from the from the whole life of the beta up into the full release. I'm hoping they stay on this path that they basically set themselves on, because ugh, I really want to completely play this game. I think they're gonna what add by the time the full game comes out, there's gonna be more. I think they said there's gonna be more, not only more weapons, I'll say more mass, but I think they said there's gonna be four more operators. So that's one thing I'm waiting for, is mainly the new operators and their new weapons, and I also want to see what other attachments they do officially add into the game, because they've already added a lot of new attachments compared to the beta. So instead of making your gun look dumb as shit, but still basically make it like a laser, now you can make your gun look cool as shit and still have it be a laser, which is basically what I'm running on my M4. I have very high control, which basically means that the recoil is going to is basically gonna be non-existent. Now you still will, regardless of how high your control is, you still have to basically pull down on your mouse, because the recoil is still gonna be there, but it's not gonna be as egregious as most games where the recoil is gonna be so heavy that you just have to like flick your entire mouse down. But I plan on just finishing up this weapon and getting the max level because I want to try out the new attachments. Just see if I can make the world's like one of the most dumbest M4s ever, and just see how well that works out. I feel like doing like I feel like just doing like videos like that, because I think that would just be hilarious, just using stupid ass weapons and seeing how well I could deal with them. Because back when I was a kid, like 14, I think, me and my cousin would hop on to Battlefield 4, and we would always do like a game, like a game with each other, where one person selects the gun, and then one person will select all the attachments for said gun if we both have it. So we'd always end up choosing like the worst weapons and putting on the worst attachments, and then competing to see who can get the most kills. And it's just really, it was always really fun doing that. Because I would always, if I got to choose a weapon, I would always choose the most shittiest SMGs in Battlefield 4 at the time, and he would just choose like the most dumbest attachments. Try to make it like an try to put on like the furthest scope you can go. So like an 8x for example, he would put that on there. Make sure that the gun has extremely high recoil and nothing to control it. Uh, it was fun and doing and seeing all these attachments basically giving me those memories back of trying to see if I can make the most dumbest weapon in this game. Since the customization is actually really nice. You have what I think you can put up to 10 or 12 attachments. Not on every gun, but like assault rifles, you can put it on like 12 attachments or even 10. But when you go to like shotguns, snipers, SMGs, you don't have much leeway with them. I think you only get like 5 attachments each. So depending on how big the gun is, will all depend on how many attachments you can put on it. So assault rifles and LMGs will have the most attachments on there. Obviously, like pistols will have the smallest, by like I think like only 3 attachments. But when you go to like snipers and SMGs and shotguns, you're going to have like the least amount of attachments on there. But I think like for my assault rifle, I think I almost have almost all the attachment slots hooked up right now. I think I just need like 2 more attachments, and that's basically my M4. It's just gonna be a glorified flashlight at that point, and that shit's gonna be fun. But yeah, definitely, if you guys have already played the game, tell me your thoughts on it. Like, if you've encountered any bugs, if you do like the game, if you hate the game, definitely, uh, definitely comment if you definitely comment like any of that stuff. For me, again, like I personally love the game right now. The beta is definitely really good, and it's definitely a recommendation to play it. But with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do hope you guys do end up playing the game, downloading it, even if it's not for a long time. Like I'll give it like a couple games. But for now, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.